Good evening, everyone. My name is Dewa Ayu Aricksuy, and I am from class PBI C, and my student number is 21111711073. So today I would like to do a presentation regarding specific vocabulary in general and in Hindi term. So we will start. First, I will introduce you about five pronoun general, which is I choose I, me, mine, they, and them. So, what I do know here, we have three kinds of pronoun, which is subject pronoun, object pronoun, and possessive pronoun. So, as a subject pronoun, we do know that it was I, they, we, you, she, and he, also it. And then for object pronoun, it's me, her, him or his, and its. And for the possessive pronoun, should be like them, their, mine, and then ours, kind of like that. And next, we do have five pronouns in Hindu term. So here I took five examples, which is Tia, Raga, Ida, Ratu, and Dani. So in Hindi term, Tiang means me, and as well as Raga. But the difference is Tiang usually used in a polite word or halus language, not as like Raga. Raga is kind of like not really polite in Hindi term. And then Ida means you, for someone that we are respect to, or someone who has like higher caste, then we call them Ida. And Ratu also means you, or as the same as Ida, but Ratu specifically was used for the highest case, which is like Chokoda or Ida Bagus. And then the last one is Dani. So probably when you are in Bali, when someone wants to give some speech, they will say like Ida Dani Sami, or everyone that attend here. Ida means you for the higher case, and Dani means you for the lower case. So in that speech, to appreciate all of the case, I mean, the speaker will say Idadani, which is mean you for the higher case and you as well for the lower case. Next, 10 nouns in general. So if we're talking about nouns, a lot of things that know as nouns, which is could be person, could be things, could be place, could be countable, could be uncountable. So first, I write down here king, people, and sister as a person noun, or when we say or we specifically say some things for someone, kind of. So not all of the people could say or could we call sister, and not all of the people also could we call king. So there's some specification there. And think noun, which is some kind of things that we can see or we can use as usually in a day, like cat, carpet, shoes, or lamp, or anything like that. And then place noun could be like hospital, or school, or house, or mall, or rice field, and then uncountable noun. So here I would like to explain you more a little bit about what I know. So when you put uncountable noun with some measurement, like a glass of water or a teaspoon of sugar, it could be from uncountable will become countable with that measurement. So if there were no measurement, then they will call it uncountable noun. Next. 10 nouns in Hindu term. First one, Bandesa, kalian, Banjar, Sabu desa, Tempekan, Penyalikan desa, Patangan desa, Kasinaman, Sarati, and Mamutu. So here I would like to explain you about Bendesa or a persona. Bendesa is kind of like the chairman of the village, or and then Kalian is also personal. Kalian is more to how to say secretary of a village or of Banjar. It depends on where it took place. And then Sabades, oh sorry, Banjar. Banjar is only found actually in Bali. So if you are looking for Banjar in another places like Java or Kalimantan, they don't have any Banjar. So Banjar is kind of like smaller or smaller part from village. So actually like some kind of like some part of Banjar or few Banjar who made the village. So Banjar is like smaller than village. And then Sabadesa. Sabadesa is kind of like someone who has kind of like how to say it, has already the experience as the Bandesa. So he's more to senior, which is when you are looking or taking some decision, you need to ask first to Sabadesa. And then next, Tempekan. So in some part of Hindu place or some part of Bali, sorry, Tempekan usually kind of like smaller than Banjar. So the show is like Tempekan and then Banjar and then village or desa. So Tempekan usually took as per the place that you are living in, like example, like every each of the head family in one way, then they will took it as Tempekan, which is usually it divided by the how to say like the north place, the west place, or the east place of the Banjar. Then they will short or divide it as Tempekan. So when the Banjar or the how to say the Banjar has kind of like event, so they will like told like some part of the Tempekan was doing these things, and then the North Tempekan um, as a kind of like buying some things kind of. So it will be like easier for the Banjar or for the how to say how uh, for the Banjar to make sure that they divide every Tempekan or every part of their community to take any kind of like not like exercise but kind of like activities. So then after that it's penyarikan desa, which is also personal. Penyarikan is more to secretariat, which is when you are um, having kind of like document or some legalities problem, then you can go and asking all the kind of things to Panyarikan Desa or someone, or we call like secretary of the village. And then next is Patangan Desa, also personal. So we call it usually in Indonesia is bendahara, or in English it's kind of like someone's who taking care of the money of the some kind of like place or companies or communities. So Patangan Desa will make sure that they have the plan of the money, where the money will goes and then what it is for, kind of like that. And then Kasinoman is one of the part of Banjar or Desa. So it actually depends. Is it Kasinoman Desa or Kasinoman Banjar, Kasinoman village, kind of like that. So in For Kasinoman, they are kind of like someone who giving the information. So when Banjar or desa or village having some event, like example ngaben or marriage or kind of like that, some kind of ceremony, Kasinoman will spread the news to everyone or every head of the family in the area. If it's in Banjar, they will spread it in Banjar area. If it's in village, they will spread it in village area. And the next is Sarati. Sarati is personal. Sarati is really called for someone who knows how to make banten or tetuesan. How to say tetuesan? It's kind of like part of the banten, which is when you make it and you put some things like offerings and everything. Then it will be an offerings or banten that complete. So Sarati must know how to make the young coconut leaves into plantain. And then Mamutru. Mamutru is also a personal. Mamutru, someone who called Mamutru is someone who can read sastra, sorry, kind of like uh, Veda or Hindus kind of like literacy, which is Mamutru only uh, reading that kind of like literacy in a big event or a big ceremony. Next, three common and proper noun. First one is bungka. In Bali, a young coconut, not regular young coconut. So a regular young coconut that you usually boat and drink is actually more bigger, but the young coconut that we call bungka is like more smaller, more younger than the regular young coconut. So here is it what we call bungka. So bungka has actually three colors, which is on green, yellowish, and whitish. And then you can use it for ceremony rituals, or you can just drink it for healthy kind of like. And what I have here for the coconut is bungka mulung, which is a young coconut. It's kind of like this, it's green outside, but when you cut it off, the colors of the skins inside here will be changed into pink colors. So Balinese people usually believe that the use is for medicine. And then next, tirta or holy water. If you are coming to Bali and you see some ceremonies or even that heal health, sorry, so you'll see when Balinese people finish their praying time, some person or one person will give the holy water, which is we call it tirta. So tirta can made from any clean water, which is kept for a night or a few hours before they use with some flowers. Not only one kind of flowers, but sometimes like more than three or five kind of flower. And then they kind of like giving some um, praise and reading some kind of like what we call um, kind of like that praise, but and then after that they just kind of like keep it for one day and put it aside, and then so when the next day or a few hours after they made it, the water is kind of like or the smells and tastes like tea flowers. And then the proper noun is Tirta Kelabutan. So what's called Tirta Kelabutan? Tirta Kelabutan or holy water that's specifically only could found from the water source. Could be from ocean, could be from land or hill. If you don't understand how is it, you can take a look of it on pictures. So Kelabutan usually just comes like directly from the earth, and then you need to take it directly from from there, then you can call it tip. Next, common and proper noun. Cantik. Usually in Indonesia or in another part, not in Bali, in another part of Indonesia, like in Java or in Kalimantan or Sumatra, they know chanting as some things or some tools that they use for making some batik shape. But here in Bali, chanting is a container for tirta. Just has shapes of kind of like brown and bowl, and with a long stick to grab, and then small shaft in the tip, so the water comes from there, from the walls into the outside by following the shaft, the small shaft. So usually it's made from silver or not only silver, also like iron sometimes. But for the proper noun or we use it as a champion cow, which is the same things, but it is made from cow or the coconut shells. So they made as well the how to say, the stick from bamboos, and then the shaft also from small bamboo. So in Balinese, in traditional way, or like only for house use, or like when you use it only for your small house or family, for only family, not for like general peoples. We usually use the chanting cow because it's more easier to make and then more easier to take care. So yeah, that's all of the three common and proper noun. If you have any less understanding, or if you are not understand about what I said before, or if you have any question, or probably if you have some things to discuss on, you can just write it down into the comment below, and then I will try to explain more detail to you. So that's all from me today, and my presentation about the common and proper noun, as well nouns and pronouns. So in the end, before I close this presentation, I would like to say thank you for the opportunities, and then as well I would like to say I apologize if I said some things wrong and not really clear. But yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much, and I will close this presentation with something. Thank you.